Oh, good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
That's good. Or afternoon.
No, it's still morning.
Still morning. We're good.
Still morning. Barely. Okay, very good. So welcome back to our market update. I've got Matthew Stansberry and Jody Trevino with me.
Happy
What's
Friday.
going on, guys? Happy Friday.
Yeah,
Yes.
rock stars. Hey, do you guys want to hear a joke before we start?
Always.
Yeah.
So the bank called me and they said that they were going to repossess my treehouse.
Uh-huh.
I was like, what the heck? I'm sure this has got to be a mix-up. I mean, they said I wasn't making my mortgage payments. I think it's because I switched branches.
Boy.
That was pretty good.
Want to hear one more? One more?
One more. Yeah, for the Friday fun.
One more. So I thought about putting out a promotional, doing 0% on all loans for the next month.
Okay.
But it's strange. There was no interest.
Okay, I like that one better. That was a good one.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. All right. So on our Fridays, we like to have a little fun. So that's about the max of the fun that we'll have with that, because we wanted to get into something today that is plaguing our nation, and it is the debt crisis. And when I say debt crisis, I mean it. It is a crisis and it is out of control. So we'll talk about rates, and then we'll go into a couple of articles that we can give our opinions about and shed some light on some things that we as Americans should be prideful of and be more cognizant of. So let's jump into our rates so we can get this ball rolling up the hill. Matt, you want to take that?
Ooh, today's daily rate survey. This is a national average. Once again, 30-year fix, 7.10, up 0.16. This is yesterday's rates for March 2nd. Keep that in mind. 15-year fix, we're at a 6.5, which is up 0.15%. Skip over the jumbo and ARM. We're looking at our Govy, FHA, and VA, usually following suit with each other at a 6.50, 0.13 up. On FHA, VA, you're up 0.15%. I mean, day over day, this has gone up quite a bit.
Substantially.
Right?
Substantially. And that's rates from yesterday. So when we talked about rates going up, what was it, about a week ago? Yep.
A week ago.
We were right.
Yep.
And keep in mind that rates tend to go up on our side before they actually raise the Fed rate in anticipation of the Fed rate being increased. So it's just one of those things that we have to try and stay ahead of it and keep the faith, because a higher interest rate does not mean anything other than your buying power is shrinking. And as your buying power shrinks, the equity position and the values in Texas in general continue to rise. So get your piece of the American pie ASAP.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's jump into the first article. Jody, you probably can take this. And this is something that it's not necessarily an article. It's more so an awakening. It's like, whoa, I had no idea. So by all means, go ahead.
You mean woke?
Yeah.
So what is the federal debt? Gross federal debt. That's the gross amount of debt outstanding issued by the US Treasury, debt held by the public, and debt held by the federal government accounts. Here are components of gross federal debt. So at the end of fiscal year 2022, the federal debt was $30.93 trillion with a T. At the end of fiscal year 2023, the federal debt is guesstimated to amount to $32.59 trillion. Thus far, on March 1st, 2023, the federal debt is $31.46 trillion bucks.
So stop right there. They mention that the guesstimate of what it should be by the end of this year is at 32.5, but we're already 3 months in. We're what this is actually only 2 months in, and it's already at 31.4.
Yeah.
So I think they're off a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, it even shows right there at the end of 2022 that we were at 30.9. So I'm saying we almost hit $1 trillion in 3 months.
Yeah. And I think they were maybe using Zillow for their guesstimate. What do you think?
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, if you know how many zeros are in trillion, put it in the comments because I have no idea.
There are
8,
3,
9,
6, 9,
Is it 12?
12
12
zeros.
zeros.
Fact check me on that, y'all.
Wow.
So that one really wasn't an article. It was just like a, hey, look at this.
Yeah, this is where we're at. Like, what
This
the
is
heck's
where
going
we're
on?
at.
If y'all want to compare the debt and to know how much debt we are in the United States, you could take all of Europe, Canada put together, and we still have more debt than them.
Jeez.
Also including China.
Oh, wow.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, we're in debt to China.
Right.
They own us.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You know, I'd be curious to know though, because obviously we have a debt problem, but I wonder how much debt we hold around the globe.
Like we're holding for others.
Correct.
I don't think there's much. Who the heck are we loaning money to?
Man, I don't
other than your Russia, not Russia, but the one next to them,
Ukraine.
Ukraine.
Yeah.
That wasn't a loan.
Well, that's true.
that was good faith and effort to help as much as possible. But I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it was a conspiracy loophole.
Could be.
Who knows? But let's get into the real first article. And this one right here, jaw-dropping stats about the state of debt. Jody, take it away.
Let's run it. So most Americans have some credit card debt. A recent Go Baking Rates survey found that 30% of Americans have between $1,000 and $5,000 in credit card debt. 15% have $5,001 or more in credit card debt, and about 6% have more than $10,000 in credit card debt. Although 6% may seem like a small amount, that means that based on the survey results, 14 million Americans have over $10,000 of credit card debt.
Whoa. So take that number, 14 million times 10. What was it?
10,000.
10,000.
Mm-hmm.
Goodness, what does that give you? Let's go quick mathers.
While somebody does that math, I don't know if you saw
1.4
yesterday, but
14 billion.
there's a new
14
policy.
trillion.
Trillion.
There's new policies around credit cards that the federal government's coming out with around junk fees.
Yes.
So the amount they can charge for late fees and then junk fees on top of that, which is like your service fees and everything.
Correct.
So hopefully all of that will be coming down. I know
think
it's
it
being
will.
addressed because it's kind of out of control.
Oh, I think it's predatory.
Yeah, well, credit card debt, if you get deep into it, you'll never get out of it.
Right.
I mean, it's impossible.
And I think the next article that we're going to get into, which we don't want to go there yet, but talks about something regarding there's X amount of percentage of people that have been in debt for over like 15 years.
Wow.
They're still there. So yeah, it's a real problem. And it, like you said, the government is doing something about that, and hopefully it sticks because government and corporations tend to work together.
Be the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I don't know whose hand am I shaking.
Yeah. Well, it's going to go somewhere, right?
Right. Let's jump back to that article. Keep
All right,
going.
so we're going to look at the stats. So 33% of Americans, is that where we're starting?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 33% of Americans, which is a third of the country, believe it will take more than 2 years to pay off their credit card debt. Although 39% of Americans believe they will be able to pay off all their credit card debt at some point in the next year, a good portion think it would take 2 years or longer. 24% believe it will take a couple of years, and then 5% believe they'll be able to pay off their debt within 5 years, and 3% believe they will never pay it off.
Wow.
Eesh.
Those are probably your minimum payment.
Well, that's also
Situations.
a belief.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
belief
It's not fact.
and a guesstimate and a
True.
and of course, when you're talking about debt, nobody wants to give the real picture ever.
Well, because in reality, they paid it back a long time ago. They're just paying interest now.
Yeah. they're
Well,
just paying interest
whatever
on the
they
money
bought,
they
they
owed.
used, guarantee, and I
Yeah.
bet you it's in a pile somewhere with
yeah.
the rest of the crap.
Oh,
They
yeah.
just make it too easy.
Yeah. Go ahead.
15% of Americans have been in credit card debt for 15 years. Wow.
There you go.
A separate survey conducted by Inside 1031 found that 55% of people carry a credit card balance from month to month. In addition, 40% haven't been credit card debt free since before 2018, and 15% have had credit card debt since before 2006. So all the big ballers that tell you they paid in full every month, don't believe them.
Yeah.
Nearly half of Americans need credit cards to cover essential living expenses. I believe that. The Inside 1031 survey found that 49% of Americans depend on credit cards to cover essential living expenses. This is more common among younger generations. 61% of Gen Zers and 53% of millennials use credit cards for living expenses. Conversely, only 26% of boomers rely on credit cards to cover essential expenses.
You know that why? Because they still are trying to figure out online banking.
Yeah, exactly.
They believe in buying cash.
All their money's under the bed.
Yeah. Got mattress
Or in
money.
what was it? What did it used to be? The coffee tins or whatever.
The little tin?
Yeah.
Bury them in the
Altoids.
backyard.
45% of Americans have taken on more credit card debt during the pandemic. Surprise, surprise. Since March 2020, nearly half of all Americans have taken on more credit card debt, the survey found. Individuals who carry a credit card balance from month to month are more than twice as likely to report having more debt now than before the pandemic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean,
Cool.
it's just wow. Let's do the
Loss of
last
jobs.
Yeah,
I
let's
mean,
do the last article and then we can rap about it. There we go. 2023 credit card debt statistics. Let's scroll a little bit. Americans have an absolute mountain of credit card debt, 986 billion to be exact. That's a lot. And that's just credit cards. I wonder, does that coincide with what we just talked about? 14%, blah, blah, blah. So that's saying 14. Yeah, that's about right. So it's 140 billion is what that number shows out to. So they're probably like, I don't know, 40 billion off
Imagine
or threshold.
that number, and it may be in there or not, but imagine that 986 billion with interest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wonder what that
exactly.
real figure is.
Well, I'd like to be
Tacking on
a
the-
credit card lender these days.
Yeah. And
How funny would it be if it equaled the national debt? There we go. We figured it out.
Plus the medical bills.
that we
get.
talked about too. Okay, so let's keep going. This credit card debt statistics page tracks the Americans' credit card use each month. We update this page regularly looking at how much debt people have, how often they carry a balance month to month, and how often they pay their credit card bills late and more. So this is a pretty solid reference. We'll probably throw it into the comments section so you guys can follow along should you want to know about what's going on in America and where you rank as far as everybody else. So how much credit card debt do Americans have? Americans' total credit card debt, as we mentioned before, 986 billion in the fourth quarter of 2022. According to the latest consumer debt data from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, the highest total since New York's Fed began tracking in 1999. It marks a 61 billion jump from 925 billion in the third quarter of 2022, making it the largest quarter increase in history on the report. So yeah,
61 billion.
that's a lot
From one quarter to the next.
That's 3 months worth. So since
Wow.
the fourth quarter of 2021, credit card balances have risen by 130 billion, with an increased American credit card debt standing at 59 billion, higher than the record set in fourth quarter of 2019, when balances stood at 927 billion. Thanks to the rising interest rates, stubborn inflation, and
Myriad.
what?
Myriad.
Yeah, that
Myriad.
too. Other economic factors. It's likely just a matter of time before the credit card balances surpass 1 trillion for the first time since the New York Fed began tracking. These record balances are light years above the 480 billion seen before 20 years ago in the first quarter of 1999. So as we look at this chart, let's look at this graph for a bit. Whoa.
Wow.
Whoa. Is this the years? Yeah, it looks like the
says
years.
1999 is the beginning,
Yep.
and then it goes into you have your spike right around
2008.
2009, 2008
Imagine that.
range. Then it comes down, then goes back up about 2019, 2020, drops, and then boosts right up.
So do you think that big drop, because the drop pretty much indicates that we've paid down the debt, right? How all of a sudden did we pay off 140 billion in debt in what is that 3-4 year period?
People weren't getting their heads ripped off for their house.
That and maybe
Bankruptcy.
all of the
Bankruptcy.
bankruptcies. I was
Yeah.
going to say bankruptcies in addition to
In addition to some banks went
bailouts.
away.
Yeah, bailouts.
So
They
then
didn't even
that
have to
got-
pay the debt.
Right.
Yeah, so it got written off.
It was gone.
Wow.
Speaking of charge-offs, what Jody just mentioned there is a form of a charge-off. When you have a credit card that essentially has been delinquent for a good amount of time, and there is no set amount that I know of, the bank itself has to turn this stuff in and write it on their books so that they can file and complete their taxes, because businesses do claim taxes and things of that nature. But at the point that it's crossed that they can't collect from you and they've got to write it on their books, they tend to write that debt off. Therefore, it passes on to a collector and they label it as a charge-off. Those types of charge-off transactions can definitely help raise your credit score if you go back to pay them and get them removed from your credit altogether. That's one in addition to the medical collections that we've spoken about before. But go ahead, back to the article. There's just a fun fact. Is there anything else on this thing? Here we go.
I think one thing we can point out too is we're at the peak again.
Yeah.
And
Or are we?
Or I was going to say, are we?
I mean, I
that's
don't
the
see a
question,
peak
right?
yet.
But if we look back historically, I mean, that was when the Great Recession happened. We're in a full-blown recession. Hello, wake up, people. We've been here. We're here. So I wouldn't be surprised if
we're
we see.
technically not. Unemployment is still below 5%. People are still spending money like crazy, like it grows on trees. And that, I believe, is the issue, is that we keep giving credit card limit increases. We keep giving opportunities for people to spend. So therefore, they're using it instead of not. They're living way outside of their means. I mean, the first time that I pulled credit on somebody in California, it blew my mind. Why? Because for some odd reason, if you live in California, you can get a credit card limit to the moon.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's ridiculous. I'm like, wait a minute. You owe $80,000 in credit card debt?
Yeah.
Like, how did you do that?
It's simple.
I own several businesses
applied.
and have to. Yeah, right. Like you
that's
work at
insane.
Walmart.
Yeah.
Go ahead with that article. Jody, Matt, one of you guys want to take this?
Card debt showed hockey stick growth until the financial collapse in 2008, when balances fell from $866 billion in the fourth quarter of 2008 to $660 billion in the first quarter of 2013. But as you can see in the chart below, the hockey stick returned. Then the pandemic took a hold in 2020. Credit card balances plunged again from $927 billion in the fourth quarter of 2019 to $770 billion in the first quarter of 2021. But again, the hockey stick returned thanks to the massive spike in the fourth quarter of 2021.
Yikes.
Total outstanding credit card balances 2008 to present.
I mean, and that just kind of hones in or zooms in on what we were talking about.
On the chart.
And I just have a feeling that we're not even close
And
to
this
where
is
it's
from
going to end.
Equifax, right?
No, from Lending Tree.
Okay.
Lending Tree. But the source is New York Fed Consumer Credit Panel Equifax.
How many times have y'all ran across a client that you're working with that you need a little bit of credit repair? They have balances on their credit, which we see is going to give them a massive spike because they're over usage.
Sure.
And they're going to buy a house and you see that they actually have more than enough money to pay for the credit card, but they haven't or ever done so.
Many times. Many times. And the logic in that is, I think, human nature, because you have access to the funds versus you put it on the credit card where nobody's bugging you as long as you're making your payment. They don't get the concept of you're paying interest on that.
Yeah.
And I have this conversation with borrowers quite often, and it's just putting reality to the forefront. And it's essentially, look, you're bugging me about this interest rate, but now we're going to go look at your credit cards. What do you mean? Well, you've got a balance here of $5,000 on a $6,000 limit. What's your credit card interest rate?
33%.
No, more times than not, they say, I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, literally, you can say, what is your interest rate on your auto loan? I don't know. I don't remember. But yet you're going to badger me about this house that we're actually going to give you something that is going to build equity and potentially one day help you pay off all this debt that you continue to get yourself in. Right? It's not like somebody took the card and went on a shopping spree and then was like, here you go, Matt, take that back.
And I think sometimes the borrower or the individual genuinely feels like they're leveraging something.
Yes.
There is good debt and bad debt.
Sure.
But carrying credit card debt is not good debt,
Right.
by any means.
Well, people tend to start playing the credit card roulette game to where you move it over to the zero balance, and then you go and rack that one that now is zero balance. So then you have to find another card, intro promotional, move it over to a zero balance and move it over. And then before not, you don't qualify for any more zero balance transfers.
Yeah. And then, in some of these cases, these people play the roulette game and they move card to card and don't realize or read the fine print with the credit card they're using that they have a quarterly or annual fee that's going to be tacked in.
Right.
And I've ran into it multiple times where they have a collection for a credit card and the collection's like $100, $200. And they're like, I paid all this. What is it? And it was the annual fee that just kind of nipped them in the butt.
Snuck up on them. Gotcha. All right, let's finish that article so we can wrap this up because we got loans to do. What a good feeling. Okay, which state's residents have the most credit card debt? This is good stuff right here, guys. Credit card holders in Connecticut have the highest average credit card debt of any state, according to LendingTree data, while those in Kentucky have the lowest. Does it show? Yep, there's the ranking. Where is Texas?
Number 5.
Show the map and that at the same time. Let's see if we can do that. Right about there. Right there. That's good. Okay, so Connecticut has the most. New York has the second most. Where's California on this thing? Okay, I guess California either is getting their stuff paid off or forgiven.
No, they sold all their houses and paid off all debt.
That makes sense. They're all in Texas now.
They're all here.
Yeah,
Look
you
at our.
guys are making
They
our
brought it
debt
over.
go up.
We went from 10 to 5. What happened
What
here?
happened?
Honestly, though, I would think people in California, because of the amount of wealth that's concentrated in that area, know how to play the credit card game.
I agree.
They're in it for the rewards and the points and the access, and they probably don't carry a balance.
That's very true. That's very true. Other than the borrowers that I've come across.
Yeah.
Weird.
Okay, there they are. They're 15.
I mean, and what I'm seeing in this is if you look over to the right-hand side, the average credit card debt, they're a couple $100 off from each other. We all have debt. Bottom line, whose debt's bigger than yours? They're all pretty bad, Okay, let's.
And those aren't too bad. I mean, those are high balances,
No,
but
they're not. Yeah.
I've seen a lot worse.
Now that is the average. That's taking somebody that has zero debt and somebody that's got $100,000 in debt to get to that
middle ground.
Yeah. Okay, Joe, do you want to finish that out?
Sure. LendingTree analysts reviewed anonymized December 2022 credit report data from more than 370,000 LendingTree users to calculate these averages and created a list of states with the most debt. Overall, the national average credit card debt, I think is what that wanted to say, among cardholders with unpaid balances in December 2022 was $7,279. That includes debt from bank cards and retail credit cards. The 4 states with the highest debt are in the Northeast, while 3 of the 4 with the lowest are in the South. There are major differences in the balances at the top and bottom of our rankings, with Connecticut cardholders owning $9,408 and Kentucky's owing $5,408. That's what they're called, Kentucky's. That means the average Connecticut balance is 74% higher than the average balance in Kentucky. In comparing anonymized December 2021 and December 2022 data, we found that 25 of the 50 states saw their average credit card debt grow by 10% or more. 2 states' average debt grew by more than 20%, Mississippi at 25.2%, North Dakota at 24.4%. Meanwhile, only Colorado down 0.3%, California down 1.7%, and Virginia down 2.5% saw their debt averages decrease. Interesting. What percentage of credit card accounts carry a balance? Americans carried a balance on 53% of all active credit card amounts in the second quarter of 2022, according to the most recent available data from the American Bankers Association.
I think is that it?
Balance carried at some point.
Yeah.
Used card but never carried a balance is 36%. And then had card but didn't use was 24%.
Eek.
These numbers aren't that alarming. I think the alarming thing is just people not fully understanding the cost of carrying that balance and how it can quickly get away from you.
And in addition to the fact that you are paying a substantial amount of interest. I mean, there are very few credit cards out there that give you 3%, 5% interest, or not give you, take away that little of interest. They're all pretty 18, 20% interest on this stuff.
Yep.
Is it worth it? Unless you are paying it off every month and gaining some type of points that you can leverage for something else, it's not worth it. Can we all live within our means? That's probably the number one advice you can give to a consumer is, can you live within your means? Start with one. Obviously, pay off or start chopping away at the highest interest credit cards, not necessarily the highest balances.
Right.
And a lot of folks tend to try and chop at this highest balance. And it's like, well, you never really feel accomplished.
Right.
If your goal is to start paying off debt, pay off your smallest balance first so you can feel a little bit of accomplishment.
That's a Dave Ramsey thing right there.
Yeah.
I believe in some of his stuff, but not towards the end stuff.
Dave Ramsey is just logical. That's all it is. And he's preying on folks. Obviously, he's preying on the X amount of percent of people that are in this debt that are causing that average to increase. And who doesn't want to get help when they need it? But Dave Ramsey can't help you pay the debt. He also didn't help you get into the debt.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So it's just one of those things. Anything else that you guys have? Any advice?
I just wanted to comment on the Dave Ramsey thing. It's the basic logic is right. But I don't agree with him on not having any debt. I think we just talked about how you can leverage credit cards. Obviously, you can leverage the bank for businesses, homes, all that stuff. It's just if you're newer to the credit card game, or you don't have a substantial amount of money in the bank, it's just the simple logic that anybody should use is, if you were to swipe your debit card to make that purchase, would you?
Yeah.
If you couldn't, don't swipe the credit card.
Yeah. It's just applying knowledge and using, what he has given information wise. Like you said, I don't believe in everything he says, but I feel like once you have the knowledge behind it, you can leverage that and then get into good debt versus saying, oh, I can't have any. I'm going to pay cash for this and do that. Yeah, no. I feel like once you learn how to leverage opportunity, that'll make you a lot more solid.
And that's exactly what I was going to say is someone like myself, entrepreneur by nature, I wouldn't be where I'm at if it weren't for the ability to access credit and leverage it the right way. Has it been tough? In many cases, yes, it has. But I have the end goal in sight, knowing that this is a means to an end, not the means.
Yeah. And I what I'll say on the most basic level, the reason most people get credit cards, responsible people, is to get rewarded for spending their money.
Correct.
Swiping their debit card doesn't do enough for them. They want something back in return. And so I would just encourage people, stop thinking of credit cards as being able to spend money you don't have. It's just a trade. Instead of swiping the debit card, you're going to swipe the credit card because you're going to get travel points or whatever it is. You're going to get access to the private lounge or whatever it is.
Right. I love that.
But that's all money that you're pulling from your checking account at the end of the day.
Yeah.
When you do it the other way around, you end up in a bad situation.
Agree. And when you are doing it the other way around and you happen to fall into a situation to where you need it to survive, you don't have it because you're maxed out. And that's the cruddy part, that we used credit cards the wrong way. And when we get into these binds, we don't have additional outlets to use to leverage.
And the moment you can't keep up, you just keep getting further and further behind.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Well, I don't want to end on a sad note, so here's another joke.
Okay. Let's go.
How did the fertilizer help the vegetable farmer pay his mortgage?
No idea.
It increased his celery. Y'all want one more?
That's mortgage dad jokes with Mark Jones.
Right. I got one more, I think. If I don't say it wrong. So I paid off my mortgage finally, right? And now it's a leskage.
It's a leskage
Instead of a mortgage.
Oh, mortgage. Now I get it.
I like the celery one.
Those are lame.
Stick to agriculture.
I'll stick to mortgages.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, everybody out there, do you guys have anything to add before we cap this thing off?
Shout out Mondo Bat Barber.
Amen to
If y'all watched a few
What?
episodes ago, he was super upset because Matt and I were up here looking like woolly mammoths.
Yeah.
See how handsome we look now. So shout out him.
That's
Yep.
their go-to guy for their haircuts. I still remain my go-to guy for my haircuts because there's just so much to cut here.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, your cut's tough.
And that being said, you guys, I hope you have a great weekend. If you are out shopping for a home, hopefully you are pre-qualified. If you are not, please visit us at ithinkmortgage.com. Our loan officers are more than capable and available over the weekends to help you get pre-qualified, jump on a Zoom call, go over your options, and then provide your realtor with a solid approval letter, not something that was just print out based on pulling a credit score. Other than that, guys, I think we hopefully have finally nailed a successful episode without glitches and stuff like that. So we'll definitely applaud that and share with a friend. We love the feedback. So if you can continue to provide feedback, whether it's in the DM or in the comments, please do so. But until next week, we will see you then. We dance it out.
Later. We have such debt.